Yes, I would like to know what the law is regarding videotaping in public buildings seeking public services and following up. I have been told that at 25 Van Ness by OCC that I'm not allowed to do it, yet nobody's told me whether it's a public building or not. They've said that they've contacted the city attorney, and the city attorney, we all know, doesn't necessarily give you the correct legal advice. So I, as a citizen who am being denied services, accommodation and access, would like to know, first of all, if this building is a public building.
The building that you're sitting in right now, where you're standing right now?
25 Van Ness.
And I said that we don't know.
We don't know
So
that.
who does, and where can I find that out?
I would call the real estate department of the city and county of San Francisco and ask them.
Okay, now when they tell me that it's a public building, then do I call you guys for civil standby to come out and make sure that my rights are being enforced to videotape in a public place like I've been told I can, or will I be given another runaround?
Well, sir, remember I've told you that you need to consult with the city attorney.
No, that wasn't the answer to the question. The question was, if they tell me it was a public building, not another dead-end lead, not another rig process, you know, I'm following legally.
What is it, sir, that you want to videotape?
My complaint and the follow-up of it in a public building seeking public services.
What do I do? They told me that I found that I lost my ID.
In the private offices?
No, in the public space.
In the public space?
Right, just like I did last time. I did not go into the private office. They told me to file my complaint that I wouldn't be able to videotape in the public office. I stayed outside. I said, come out here and take my complaint. I want to do the same to make sure they followed up, they've listened to everything, and they won't even let me in the building to go to the office, the public place of the office.
So remember how I told you that you could also contact the police commission? That's a resource that you can use.
Yes, and I have the paperwork where I have contacted them, and they
ask them.
told me that it's not their problem. Would you like to see the paperwork to Mr. Padmore? I love the fact that I'm constantly steered down dead-end alleys that don't work because it's rigged to fail.
Sir, what I would do is I would talk to the real estate department, ask them what are public buildings, which are not. Is 25 Van Ness, I know it's a city-owned building, is that considered a public building?
Well, if it's considered a private building, then how are people supposed to complain, for example, to the OCC or the Human Rights Commission? If it's a private building, then they can't get in and complain.
I understand that. I'm not saying, I'm just saying.
But you understand the nature of my question.
I totally do, but
Right.
I just want, so you'll have full clarification. Then from there, what I would do is seek some kind of counsel.
What do you mean counsel?
Speak to an attorney that...
Oh, you mean justice for the rich? If you're poor, you're not going to find an attorney? What about me coming to my law enforcement officers and asking them to enforce the law for me in civil standby, like I've done twice, maybe 3 times at 25 Van Ness? The last person who went was your Officer Hanley, who told me that it was not illegal to videotape, but that there was a build-in policy against that, and I said...
That's exactly what I want to say. I'm not sure what their policy is.
Well, policy is not the law. I want the law to be enforced. You can always make a policy that circumvents the law.
I understand that.
Yes, so do I. So now, at what point do I get my rights enforced?
Right. Well, the other thing, too, is I told you, remember, when we were talking last time, I said, did anybody take your camera when you were videotaping? And did that happen when you were there?
No, but I can't
So
tell.
no one took your video camera.
So were you
were
able-
prohibited.
Hold on a second, but I did have somebody try to take my video camera at the Department of Public Health, and when I went to go complain to the DA, I was assaulted twice, and that's on
So
video.
we're talking about 25 Van Ness
Correct.
right now. Did anybody try and take your camera?
No.
Were you not allowed to do what it was you wanted to do there?
Yes, I was not allowed.
And what was it that you wanted to do? Exactly.
Videotape in a public place, my complaint, and the receipt of it.
And you were not allowed to do
Correct.
that? Did you ask the person there at 25 Van Ness what their policy was?
Your Officer Hanley told me it was against the building policy. I asked him if it was against the law. He said no.
No. Then I would ask to see that building policy. And with that, I would take a copy of that building policy to our city attorney's office and ask them to please make a decision on which one is superseding which, the policy of that building or the
I'm sorry,
the
you're
law.
telling me that a bad policy can
No, sir.
supersede law?
I'm saying to you, let's get a clarification. I'm
Well,
not
why
saying
would I
that
need clarification if the law says I can do it,
because
regardless of whatever policy?
Sir, because obviously people are interpreting it different. And
Oh,
so
well,
what
that's
I want-
exactly why I'm here at law enforcement, so that my rights will be enforced.
I want your rights to be enforced. That's why I want you to go and get a copy of that policy that states you cannot videotape in there. Get a copy of the law, make an appointment down at the city attorney's office, and ask them to please give you.
And when they don't perform, then what?
Then I would take it to the next step.
Which is?
I would go down to 400 McAllister, to the courts. And
To the
see if
courts.
somebody in the courts can help you.
The courts who won't even speak to you? I mean, isn't that another dead-end lead?
Sir, I would try it. That's my only advice.
So when I continue to try to do everything right and it's rigged to fail and
You
it
make
continues
those-
to fail, then
Here,
what?
This is our agreement. You go.
We don't have an agreement so far.
Okay, well, this is what I'm asking you to do. You go and do those 2 steps that I told you.
Okay.
If you get nowhere, you come back and see me.
I will.
And I'm Lieutenant
Thank you.
Bishop.
I will
Okay?
gladly do that.
Thank you.
Luck is not what I need. I just need for the laws to be followed. Unfortunately, it doesn't exist. Thank you.